what I have here is a Xbox One X. Can't necessarily show it very clearly. And this thing works perfectly fine. So I'm not going to be doing anything too crazy to it. I do want to take it fully apart. Mostly the point of this video is just for me to watch what I do, just so I put everything back where it belongs, and just so that my process is clear when played in reverse. There is like a weird... I don't know if that's coming off of the console or if that's been on my finger for a while. I don't know. But while I'm taking this apart, cleaning it, I do intend on upgrading the internal hard drive. I have a 2 terabyte, 2.5-inch spinning drive that I've already partitioned and prepped. So I'm ready to go. I do want to just do one final test on it. So I have the console on, I'm signing in, I have a disc over here that actually came with it. Ghost Recon Wildlands. Good game. I had fun with it. So because the original, or the Xbox main menu likes to flash my personal information, I'll just be kind of blipping gameplay in and out, but here's the main dashboard. Works just fine. I'm gonna plug in the disc. Turn that off real quick. And then I want to go over to look at things like the storage and things like that. Oh, it won't. So Call of Duty Wildlands, ready to start. Installation started. Good old Xbox. So it is seeing the disc. Let me see. Yeah, it's currently installing, so it is seeing it. So this drive sounds good. I'm not going to update it because this entire console's going to be losing its hard drive. So I'll just go ahead and eject it. Ejection works good. Face buttons look good. Now, does the system settings... No, the system settings does not cycle through my personal information. So I will be upgrading the storage to 2 terabytes. There should just be a 1 terabyte in here, and there is. So I'm going to be interested to see if this 2 terabyte would work. It should. I mean, and if not, a 1 terabyte drive is still very considerable. Let's get this thing turned off. And unplugged. I will be pulling up an iFixit guide. And I think what I'll do is take it partially apart, get the hard drive ready, then I'll continue taking it apart. Or what I might do is just sort of get everything apart, get everything cleaned, and then while the shell is drying, I can do that, just sort of officially, just on my bench. I do want to repaste it. I do want to just give it the whole shebang. iFixit Xbox One X. I just want to look up a guide. So I'm just going to go down to the disk drive, I guess. That will at least get me within the... I'm required to desolder 2 wires. Alright, that'll be fun. So the first things first is to take off the little warranty sticker right here. This thing has not been opened, which is great. I'm not going to try and save this sticker at all. I don't care about it. I'm not going to try and deceive people by saying, ooh, I've never been in this console. I mean, if I'm going to say what I say in these store listings, that I've opened it, cleaned it, repasted it, then I've been in it. Like, there's no fooling anybody here. If you're that wild about a little warranty sticker, you can probably buy them on AliExpress. Because I could spend the next 5 minutes trying to take this thing off with a heat gun, making sure I don't crack it and whatever. I just don't think it's worth my time. Because you know I've already opened it. I'm not an authorized Microsoft vendor. So let's not fool anybody here. Are these not T10s? This T10s really doesn't... I guess it's a little loose in there. The torque bits don't necessarily come in the most, like, let me check, actually. What I don't like about the screw kits I have is just the torque bits you're given are never exact. It jumps from 10 to 15. So 11, 12, 13, 14 don't matter, apparently. And I would argue that these screws are probably a bit size between them. A 15 doesn't fit, and a 10 is loose. So as far as like proper recess size, it's like I have quite a bit of play in here. But I just gotta press firmly and just hope it doesn't strip. But since pretty much every screw kit I've gotten never has anything between Torx bit 10 and 15, you just gotta make do, I guess. It's a little dumb. It's not like Crosshead or Phillips, where you get pretty much any size you need. So taking off the 2 back screws. Can't exactly fit that in frame. Again, my setup is not made for things this big. Alright. I remember that this is like a weird sort of clip situation with this console. So I think one of them slides. Oh, here it is. So the head of the console slides forward. The perspective is not the most intuitive on iFixit's side. So I slid it forward and now it should... Oh, it levers up like that. Okay. Now it doesn't... It looks like the front button is plastic welded in. So I won't touch it. It is very dirty though. Like, so that's gonna get cleaned. Okay, so now there is the front panel connector, or the front PCB. These 3 screws I'll get next. It does want me to take off this ribbon cable. I can't exactly get a good angle on that ribbon cable. So what I am going to do is just pop the latch and then just leave it. I'll get to it when I actually when I take the board out, I'll just sort of jiggle it out and then I'll be able to get the... I'll be able to get the ribbon cable out. There's no point in trying to screw with it right now. There really isn't that much space to pull back on that ribbon cable. And I don't want to hurt it. So these screws up here are T8. My, is this thing dusty. I might have to take this out into the garage, and once I get the like one of the metal shieldings off and I can actually see the guts of the console, I might go blow it out. Got all 3 screws out. Oh, this one is like exceptionally... The one on the far left is like exceptionally well threaded in. Or I wasn't paying attention. I will go into Monday. Because I keep everything in a pill. I keep all my stuff in a pill counter. So what I'm saying is now I gotta neatly undo the plug, and then since the ribbon cable has a lot more slack, and I undid the latch, it'll just pull out. Pulling it out, trying to yank it out, you run the risk of damaging it, and I don't want to deal with that. Okay, so now we got the... Let me orient it the same the way they have it. Pillbox, you're in the way. So now we're undoing all of the major studs, and then there's 2 screws right here on this little connector, which are T8. So I will undo these. And then I'm going to see how different these screws are, if I can put them in the same day. I think they are. I'm pretty sure these are the studs. And I can't put them in this pill counter. Oh yeah. That's a screw. So I will put these into put the little connector into Tuesday. I find it odd how they put this little plug on. Like, they really wanted to Microsoft really wanted to make sure this little guy was not coming unplugged under any circumstances. Come hell or high water, this thing will stay plugged in. Pop. Yeah, it's just a little connector. I think it's for the USB. I think there is some components in the bottom shell that I need to remove. So am I still on T8? Yes, I am. So there's a T10. There's a T10 right here. T10 right here. Oh, good lord. T10 up here. I'll make sure to plug all these studs in before I pull the thing apart. I accidentally missed a screw on an Xbox One that I pulled apart. Oh, whoopsie. Okay, all of those studs are out. So now I should be able to take this panel off, the other plastic panel. So the face of the console is facing me. Oh, okay. Yeah, it just kind of lifts off. Ooh, yum. So there is some logic up here. I'll get these later. Or some the circuit boards and stuff. I'll get those later. So now that I'm over here, there's two screws. There's a 7 and an 11. I'll orient it the same as I fix it. So are they both Torx 10? Yes, they are. So there's a short lad. These are all going into Wednesday. And then there's going to be a long lad. Well, a longer lad. It's not super long. And the metal housing should come off. I remember when I took apart my last 1X, this was a bit difficult. I don't know if it's because like the foam is degrading or maybe the metal is kind of pinched in there a little, but it takes a little bit of convincing. There it goes. I think it might be because these foam bits at the bottom were probably sticking on. Actually, the inside doesn't look that bad. I'll blow off the metal shielding and give it a dusting later. Ew. Looks like a thermal putty? I don't know what that is. Fan is gross. Let's see kind of what we got here. So I need to flip it over. There are two screws for the disk drive. Oh. No, there is not, because the disk drive is wanting to fall out. Wonder if they mean for the hard drive. Okay, disk drive's out. I'm going to want to open that and get to the rollers and the laser. Oh, disk drive is attached to the motherboard only by two cable connectors. I don't know why they just didn't allow us to just unplug it, but alright. There's two screws right here. These might be for the power supply? I'm not really paying close attention where these screws are going. But I will keep track of them. So these will go into Thursday. Okay, these look like they were for the power supply, and the power supply should just lift up. There is some foam. Ugh. Phone call. Be right back. I'll get to it later. I think the power supply just lifts up if it's connected on the board, similar to the series console. Oh, I see why they want you to... How in the hell is this power supply attached? Like, there's this weird, like, cable underneath it. Let me just sort of dribble in some rubbing alcohol and soften it up. Good old rubbing alcohol. I have no idea where that's connected. But it lifts up and then sort of, I don't know, I guess we'll flop over here for now. Nice looking board. Avoid bending the cable more than necessary to avoid damage. I mean, I swear to God, if they ask me to flip this thing over again... Okay, what I'm going to do is put it back. I'm just going to undo the rest of the screws underneath this. I'm not exactly a fan of how... I think I just have to remove the... Oh, I need to remove these front screws up here and then the X clamp. These I'm just going to do all in one go. Just so I can get the motherboard out. Gee willikers, that's in. Need to make sure these are all the same screws. They most likely are. They do appear to all be the same screws. These will go into Friday, as well as the X clamp screws when I get to them. I don't even know what that like cable was. It looks like metal cable you would put on like for a bike lock. Because there's those two main like power points connected into the motherboard. What the hell is it supplementing with this big thick cable? It should be not every screw because there's a shitload over here. These 4 are for the hard drive. I'm gonna do that. I'm guessing they're all the same screws. Can't even see them. So it'll be this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw, and this screw. Everything's sort of clustered around here. I'm just gonna get them all off. Let come what may. Again, I'm going to assume that these are all the same. I will look at them. The screws mounting and the drive-in might be a little different, but... Or they might not. I know the hard drive will kind of flop on to my lap when I get this last one done. Okay, they're all the same. Hopefully the disk drive is pretty accessible. Okay, Saturday's done, so now I gotta hold both the power supply and the disk drive. Flop it over. Now I can start removing stuff. The hard drive I'll have to, there are 4 more additional screws underneath it. I'll do that later. But this should just unplug. Oh no, I do have to, okay, I have to remove it. I'll just do this later. This will be a very uninteresting step. There are 4 screws right here I need to undo. Pull the drive out, unplug it, plug in the new drive. I might want to just blow this off. Give it a light brush and blow it off. The fan should also come off. I got the connector right there. How exactly does this come off? So I need to avoid bending that as much as I need to. There it goes. This thing is also gross and needs a blowdown. Okay, the power connector, this is just the main power connector. That makes sense. So the power supply doesn't actually connect, like, you don't exactly connect the main power supply directly to the power supply. It's sort of rerouted. That makes sense. Get on the motherboard. Will not come out yet. I have one more set of screws up here. There's a board right here. There are 3 screws, 2 silver and a black. I'm gonna grab another pillbox. I'll grab just my 4 one. So this will be the morning. Ow. The morning screws. They are T8. Really long guys. Wow. Really long guys. The black threaded one was threaded in there a little more. I should just unplug. I'm kind of freeballing it from here because the iFixit instructions kind of ended. There's a thermal pad for the south bridge. And yeah, I think I'm pretty much done. I just need to get everything blown off and cleaned. All the plastic bits cleaned. So I just wanted to record my structure, or how I took it apart, so I can reference how to put it back together. And then when I get to flashing the hard drive and putting the thing back together, I'll also record a video of that just in case I make a mistake. So I got everything air dusted off. And I learned a few things. This is not the piece. I just wanted to double check it under my light. This looks a lot better already. Power supply. I air dusted inside pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna go as far as to take this thing apart. It looks fine. It's not like packed with dust. Not much puffed out. There's just a little bit on the surface. I didn't get around this connector. I just wanted to brush that off real quick. The fan I want to do some more manual cleaning on. I couldn't really get some of the ends of these fins too well, so I might go in here with a Q-tip and try and get off the ends. There's still some, like, dirt and debris on, like, the very tips of these fins, and that's just not, like, stuff that blows off. Like, that's caked on there, so I'll get working on that later. Hard drive looked good. Something about this rear shell piece I didn't realize. I have another Xbox One X that I opened, and this, like, face piece was loose. I'm like, huh, is it like a tab was broken, or maybe I didn't clip in the clip all the way? No, so it's held in with plastic welds, or plastic rivets, and this one over here is just completely broken off. So I mean, I could probably hold that on with hot glue, or put maybe just a dab of UV glue on just to make it secure again. That's all stuff I can get later. I did want to focus on this motherboard because it had some little concerning spots on it. Let me take out my earplugs that I had when I was air dusting everything. Air duster gets a little loud. So I don't want to quickly jump and call it water damage, but especially around in here, It does look like corrosion or something. I don't know. It's like around here as well. So I do want to really give this good motherboard sort of a wipe down. I'll do that. I'll just do that later. That's not going to be very interesting. So while I'm here, I'll do a lot of that finer cleaning off, because again, that's just not that interesting. There's nothing really exciting that's going to happen. I do want to get the X-clamp off, though, and see what it looks like underneath there. My X-clamp removal tool, which is a godsend. I didn't think I was going to be working on Xboxes that much. Ooh, it's a bit of a tight fit. But I'm glad I have this. This has made this job immeasurably easier, because going in here with a pair of, like, a flathead screwdriver to try and take off this X-clamp is just asking for trouble. Now I know there are a bunch of thermal pads on the RAM chips, so this might be a bit... Or there's thermal clay. Thermal putty. I need to be very careful. Oh, there it goes. Perfect. Ooh, look at that. Look at that thermal paste. All nice and chunk. I'll work on the heatsink first, just to get this old thermal paste off. And then what I'm going to end up doing is, well, I'll get it off the CPU as well, or the APU. Ooh, 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 it's dry, scabby. It's hard to call it paste at this point when it's just flaking off like this. I might just like try and... I don't want to get any of it on these thermal putty pads. This putty still looks really good. I'll finish this up later, or off camera. This won't be all that interesting, but I'll keep working on it and hopefully get it back together soon. Alright, I got this shell all cleaned, so now I can put this thing back together. The, like, weird corrosion around the edges, I don't really know what that was about. I sort of mopped up as much as I could, but it didn't seem to impact anything negatively, so I think I'll ignore it for now. So what I want to do is, well, I'll be putting it back together. I just need to follow my video that I made of me disassembling it so I know where everything goes. So it looks like the power supply goes in first. And it looks like the connector sort of sits in here. I don't know if it... Okay, there are some, like, through-hole pegs. So it does sit, and then I need to wrap it around the fan. So I need to put the fan in. And then it looks like the clips on the... This will be a little finagly. What I might want to do is clip the power supply on first and then position the power plug. Oh boy, okay. This is not super intuitive. Because I can put the plug in, it sits right there. If I hold it, sort of flop the power supply over here. Now iFixit was pretty adamant not to move around this power plug too often, or to just sort of flex it unnecessarily. But I think this is going to be okay. So now that my fan is in place, I can route the cable into the canal and then plug it in. There, just like that. Now I dusted this the best I could. It looks like I missed a couple spots. Between hand dusting and air dusting it, anything that's loose should puff out when I take power to the console. Okay, I know there was like a foam pad that went on top of this, but it looks like the hard drive went in next. It sat right here. Now, I was doing some research, and yes, a 2 terabyte spinning drive is better. A solid state drive is even better. The problem I was having is solid state drives in this form factor at anything more than 500 gigabytes is worth more than this entire console. Like those prices have just skyrocketed. So for this instance, a 2 terabyte is an upgrade. You get better performance out of an SSD, like hands down. Like it's not even a contest that you get better for performance. There's no debate there. But I would have to sell this thing for 400 of the price of a Series S to get anywhere close to putting an SSD in this thing, and I just can't, in good conscience, do that. I don't think it would ever sell anyway. So these were for a front panel connector, so I need to see where the SSD screws, or the hard drive screws went. Well, I think I kind of... Okay, yeah, I put everything in that corner, so I'm going to have to kind of flip this around in a weird way. The power supply and the fan will hold itself. I need to kind of hold the SSD, or not the SSD, just the standard hard drive. Until I at least get a couple screws in it. And for the thermal solution, I actually went with something a little unconventional. I put a phase change thermal pad on there that a friend gifted me. So I'm kind of curious to see how that will work. I will be running some thermals on this. I haven't quite decided what I'll do yet. I might have to pick up like a cheap Madden game and just let some AI games run. Reenact a Super Bowl or something. And there were 2 other screws. I think it was right up here. Well, I know it's right down here because I see it. If memory serves, the other screw hole's right here. I'm just going to double check. Yep. And I think kind of from here, I should be able to follow an iFixit guide. But I just want to double check here. Okay, so I put on the X clamp next, so I still had this inverted. And the X clamp was the black screws, I know that. Because if you're to believe the marketing, the phase change thermal pad should perform much better than a standard glob of thermal paste. So I'll see about that. I mean, at worst, it won't overheat. I don't know if I will be able to get, like, thermals off of a bog standard Xbox One S or One X, but either way, I have to... There's quite a bit I need to do before I even get to that point. And unlike the other videos I've been doing, I will run the updater. I won't record me going through the updater again. The offline updater, that's just dull, boring, and something I can do on my own. And I think the other screws that are in Friday go to the remaining... Okay. They go right here, and right here. Run some thermal testings, check all the ports. I know the disk drive works. I might want to look into seeing... Actually, I don't necessarily need to clean the laser if the laser doesn't have a problem. I think the way they have those disk drives is the laser kind of like recesses itself. Sort of hides when it's not in use. So that would keep... Theoretically should keep dust and debris off of it. Oh, these are the screws for the power plug. I could have probably put those in first. Like, pressed the little power end in and then screwed it down. Thursday, I got 2 screws. Okay, there was a big pad, that big foam pad. Okay, I see a few screws. No, I think these two screws go right here and here. I think these are all basically the same screws. Ooh. Wednesday are 2 different screws. And when I say that they're all the same screws, I mean like pretty much every silver screw that I've put in so far have all been the same screw. Same size. Oh, right, I remember these screws. Okay, so I think they connect the bottom metal shielding to the top metal shielding. So I can put in the disk drive. Which I did open and clean off the rollers. I don't remember if I recorded that or not. I couldn't get to the laser because it was, like I said, it's like recessed. I think it hides underneath like a piece of metal inside of the disk drive, which is kind of cool. It means it's not just exposed. Okay, it must sit like that, so let me grab that foam pad. I don't know how much adhesive it has left on it, but even just it being there as just a thing to rest the metal shielding on is good enough. And I have the 2 front panel connectors. Worry about that later, so now I can get this on. All these pieces of foam do make this a little more difficult. I have to sort of slide it in at an angle, make sure none of them get like bunched up. Something like that. Now the 2 screws, I think are right there and there. I'm gonna have to I could probably rely on an iFixit guide now to get screw lengths, so I know where everything is. Let's just go down to disk drive. That's as far as they go. They don't go all the way down to the APU, which is kind of dumb. Whoa, why do they have... Oh, they're showing how to replace the disk drive. You have to take out the motherboard, or the little daughter board inside of it. Right. Okay. Makes sense that they would show that step. So the shorter screw goes right here. Longer screw goes right here. Now this is kind of an... This is a different screw, definitely. It's much shorter. Okay. I need to put the black plastic on. Oh, actually, I need to put on all the front panel connectors. There's the gold one. There is the other one. There's this little fella, which I think goes right here. Perhaps. Now I remember recording that, so I'll have to check again. There, silver, silver, black. I think that's the end of this pill container. Yes, it is. Now I can put the bottom plastic housing on. Let me see if there's a way to lever it off. Might want to go metal side down. Because I need to sort of clear the little bumps on the disk drive. There it goes. Okay. I'm not pinching either, or I'm not pinching the small ribbon cable. So this Lego connector can go back on. I'll cinch it down with the mighty unnecessary screws. But I mean, if Microsoft thought it necessary to cinch this USB and sync button down with 2 screws flanking the connector, then I guess they thought it was important enough. I think the next one are the 3 gold screws for the front panel connector. The big lad themselves. Plug in the ribbon cable at the same time. And zip. And get these totally unnecessarily long screws screwed in. And then I think it wants me to do the studs. And then I think the last 2 screws I have are for the other outer, or the other shell. Oh. I would say all in all, this thing's not that bad to take apart. I think the 360 gets a little frustrating because of how you have to kind of bend over backwards to get a few clips. Or this thing isn't even... I would say I don't even think this thing is held together with plastic clips. these a nice little cinch down. And I'm hoping the 2 terabyte isn't... well, it works. I hope. Should. Okay, now there's kind of a special way, like this is kind of weirdly put on. So it's sort of levered off from this direction, I think. Because there's like little nubs, or these like screw ends are like poking out. So there's kind of a way to do this. The Series S is kind of the same way, but you like bend the shell open just a touch to sort of crank it off. Oh, I didn't really dust this really well because I never actually removed this piece from the... I'll do that in a little bit. I'll probably just dust it with and I'm talking about like this piece right around all the ports. I still had that attached to the shell, so I never actually took it off to clean it. I don't think it needs it. It's just got a little bit of dust on it. Okay, that's not on there. It's not clearing the little, like, reverse teeth. Something like that, I think. I sort of lever it on. I gotta make sure it's forward enough. That side's good. This side isn't. I think it might be having the same... Oh, no, it is. Okay, cool. Just slid it on. It cleared both of the teeth. Perfect. So now I can cinch this back together. Or get the last 2 screws in. And yeah, I'll just go over these with a toothbrush. Brush them out. I did sort of dust out the ports. I guess I must have just forgot to do the plastic around it. Before I forget, I'm just going to do that right now. I have my vacuum nearby. Gonna mute. And just like that, I think we're good to turn this thing on. See where it sits. So let me get my capture card HDMI cable in. Find wherever the double barrel power connector is. Batteries the power, turbines the speed. I need a controller. Heard the chime. There it goes. Let's see what my capture card is going to say. It's going to spit out an error because it has a partition drive, but it doesn't have anything on it. It's an empty partition drive. Assuming my capture card wants to behave. Or either the capture card wants to behave or the $2 TB drive isn't going to work, which I hope it does. I might have to try... Let me try a port that's not my capture card. Just on the off chance that that's having a problem. Capture card adds just an unnecessary variable. Okay. So it is working. My capture card's just being weird. Let me try it again. Had me worried there. Now this is an old Elgato capture card. And it sometimes throws a fit. But I saw the error screen. I didn't actually read the error code, but I'm gonna make the bold assumption that it's good. At least to the extent that I can test. Or that I can do the offline updater. Oh, so the HDMI from my capture card to my Xbox was just a little bit loose. And I don't exactly want to troubleshoot why my capture card's not showing up on OBS, because Elgato likes to use their dumb proprietary software to muddy everything up. Okay, I'll try one more time. I'm not gonna spend a long time fiddling with it, because this is almost more uninteresting than the... Ah, yes, thanks, OBS. I understand. Oh, is it gonna do it? Oh, there it is. You have an E106, so that is, I believe, not going to go into the minutia of that code, but my understanding is it sees a drive, it sees that it's partitioned, but there's nothing on it. Let me get this synced. Troubleshoot. I'm just going to restart this Xbox, restart everything. Now, the person who made the tool that made the drive partitions just said to do that. It could just clear some, like, title files on the NAND. It might not even do anything. So I need to find where I put my payload. Here it is. So I have an online uploader payload right here. I'm just going to plug that into the front USB. Let this console come back on and report the same error. Preparing console, same error. Troubleshoot, offline system updater. Okay, this will take a while. I'm just going to let it run. I'll come back once I can confirm that once this is all done. And there it is. It's recognizing all 2 terabytes. Well, I mean all 2 terabytes that... it's not exactly 2 terabytes. It never is. But it's good enough. I'll do some testing later. I need to do some thermal testing, which is probably just going to be me maybe sitting on a game of Madden and just letting AI play. I'll be looking for a stress test game. I could probably pick up an Xbox One copy of Madden for like a couple dollars and just let it run for a few hours. Make sure that phase change pad works, no thermal issues, but so far so good. I'm pretty happy with this.